My name's Archie. I work at a houseplant shop here in Weston-super-Mare called Your Houseplants. Today I want to talk about cactus. I think cacti get a really unfair rep for being boring or uninspired or not diverse, but that couldn't be further from the truth. They are such an incredibly diverse family of plants coming from all over the world with a whole host of different growing conditions. They are a really interesting plant to keep. Cacti aren't only grown for their decorative ability either. They have such a wide range of uses for things that you may not even know. So for culinary reasons, they're grown for things like dragon fruits, which are cacti, prickly pears are cacti. You can actually eat some of the softer cacti, again like prickly pears. They also have a synonymous relationship with a lot of red food colouring. So cochineal, the bug that we know as the red food colouring bug, are actually cultivated on pads of cacti. They're also used in construction. There are cacti over in South America that are so woody, fast growing and large they are used as timber. But so yeah, they're not just for houseplants or just for growing. They're really a really interesting family of plants. And they range in size as well, from very small to very, very big. We're talking tens, if not hundreds of feet high. And everyone thinks cacti is synonymous with the desert, but alas, this isn't true either. Yes, there are a lot of cacti that grow in desert conditions, but there are a lot of rainforest cacti that actually grow in the jungles. For example, this epiphyllum, also known as the fishbone cactus, aptly named because of its structure, is a rainforest cactus. They are epiphytes, so they grow attached to trees in the rainforest and they get hot, humid and wet all year round, and that's how they grow. You don't really think of cacti as water-loving plants, but there are some that are, like this one. There are some cacti that can actually survive in English winter as well, which I find incredible. In nature, where a lot of the desert cacti grow, in fact, can tolerate colder temperatures. Whilst it's soaring and scorchingly hot in the day, in the night time with no cloud cover, all the temperature just drops away, and they can go down to freezing, some of them. I keep a lot of cacti in an unheated greenhouse here in the south of England, and on the whole, most things survive very well. And a lot of cactus do need a cold, dry winter rest to be able to initiate flowering. So things like mammillaria, things like that do need to be cooled down and dried out so they can actually flower in the spring and summer. So aside from your rainforest cacti that obviously like to be watered quite a lot, people think that most cacti don't need to be watered at all. This is not true. So in the summer season when cacti are growing, this is true for most cacti. I water them once a week. I tend to let them dry out between waterings, but I don't let them dry out for the whole summer. We need to keep them moist because cacti are adapted to be able to store water, so they need the water there to be able to store and continue to grow. In the winter, they do like to be cooled down and they do like to be dried out. So from sort of mid-November, I won't water my cacti until the following spring. I won't give them a drop of water at all until the following spring. And this is useful to help them flower, but also they're not growing in the winter, so they don't need to be watered in the winter. Doing so will cause problems like rot and diseases and pests and things like that, and you just don't want to do that. So the spines of a cactus are actually adapted leaves. They've adapted to have spines instead of leaves to protect themselves from predators in the wild. Where a lot of the cactus grow in the deserts, water is hard to come by, so a lot of the animals would go to cacti and eat the cacti because they're full of water. So they developed the spines to stop that happening. There are animals that can bypass this defense mechanism. For example, camels have a really hard mouth and they can chew through things with spines like 2-3 inches long. So you see, cactus aren't boring at all. They're actually really interesting. Give them a go. They're really easy to care for, as you would imagine. Just grow some, see what happens. My name is Archie again, and I work in a houseplant shop here in Weston-super-Mare. If you enjoy this sort of content, please give me a follow, give me a like, and give me a comment. I would really appreciate it. Until the next time, I'll see you later.